So as part 3, let's take a look at how we can get this over to Fusion and what we only want to get over to Fusion in what shape. So for example, the pipes, they're very easy to explore in Blender because as an animation tool, it supports perfect three-dimensional splines. In Fusion, we can't really use this. We would have to rebuild it from scratch. Most of these elements we can also bring over, and for example, even here, those basic objects, the pipes, we want to recreate so they are nice and accurate. Because currently this looks circular, but it's not really a perfect circle. And if we want to work with perfect circles, we might want to use a better geometry, because nothing is wrong with this type of a circle, because the advantage is we can nicely sculpt it. That's the same also in Alias when we work with a NURBS circle, when we have CVs. But the problem is the radius is not uniform. And if we want to have a perfect uniform circle or cut or cylinder, we have to use, for example, what we have in Fusion, the circle tool or the cylinder, because that is geometrically wise perfect. But then we can sculpt it. Okay, so what would be the different steps and how could we step by step approach this? So I will make a new copy, save as, and let's say raw 3. Okay, good. Because certain modifiers, for example, right now I do not want bevel. Nope, 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 nope. The mirror modifier, yes, I want. Okay. So same, for example, here. Now this one we don't need, because when we bring this over, it's the same object. Okay. And where is our main body? There. And you here, this one, and this one, and this one, for example. Now we could keep. But let's see, because we have to see if maybe we can do the offset actually also in Fusion. So let's bring this one over first. So export OBJ, select it only, that is fine. Z is up, I think. Let's go to Fusion. What is forward? Forward is, looks like -y. Okay. So minus or y. Let's see. Good. I'll go to the same folder for renderings, and let's say this is the main body. Okay. Let's bring it over. Then let's go into Fusion. We will create a form. So we're going to recreate the nice subdivision surface quality. And let's go to the folder. There, open meters. Okay, let's convert this one. So mesh body we will convert into T-splines. And then you see these edges here are not sharp. So Shift and then double click on these edges. We will sharpen them. But with okay, modify, crease, sharp. Perfect. See, pretty much the same object. Great. And then when we click Finish Form, there's our perfect NURBS surface. So let's go back to Blender. So at this point now, let's bring over those elements. And here's now the the question, do we want to bring over the complete array or just a cube? Let's say we don't really want to re-explore the array stuff because we finished this here. Then we can actually bring over the array just as an object, and in Fusion we will make it a static part and not one cube where we add another array to it. So let's call this maybe main body array. Good. Let's go to Fusion. We can go to this mesh input because this is the first one, and here, for example, we can add the next element, main body array, meter, okay. And this is nice in block geometry, so we can do B-wrap to mesh. Let's see if we can select this one already in here. Select new body. I can't select it. Nope. Select this one. Interesting, it doesn't allow it. Okay, no problem. That's fine. So finish mesh. So now we have this stuff in here, and we have to create a base feature, because a base feature is just a holder for static geometry. And here now with mesh to B-wrap, we convert the box polygons into the NURBS geometry we need. See, very nice and clean. Finish base feature, done. Okay, and then here, those are hidden. Great. So now we can go ahead and say modify u minus u, cut, and keep tools we get rid of. So you see, same steps. Okay, the center body, how do we do this now? We can, for example, go to Blender and let's say the Displace we bring over. But there's one thing about the Displace I don't like, and you see actually if you really pay attention to this arcs down just a little bit. So what else could we do? The problem here with the Displace is mainly, I think, because we have these points there. So that's a flat face, and there you see now when we do it this way, this remains nice and straight. But you can also see this is a straight face and gets deformed. So the Displace command here doesn't work 100% as accurate as I want, but also three-dimensional surface offsetting is pretty tricky. So let's see maybe what else we could do here. So we have this T-spline body, which we created there, and I would like to do exactly the same to this T-spline body. But no, actually I have it already sliced. Well, I move my time marker to here, and then this body I will copy and paste and keep it where it is. Perfect. So now let's say if we can move this one to there. So there is now this whole object. Okay. We should name this one. That is, let's say, our core object. There. And before we do this cut, let's say this is array. Whoops. And this is main body. I'm curious if the names will carry over now. No, I did not. Okay. Actually, I want to do that, so I will delete this for a second. Core. I will just redo this command because then I think the naming will be correct. Yeah, main body. Good. Okay, so the core has right now exactly the same height, and that is not really what I want. So how can I do this now? Well, we will offset the surface, and let's say there's a press and pull command. Well, we can click on it, but it can do something at the end. That's not what I want. So what if press and pull, we go on to this surface and this and this. Be careful that you do not click the cut ribs, but just the core object. And let's say minus 20 millimeters, minus 50 millimeters. See, we're displacing it or shrinking it. So it's an offset command. And because this is now mathematical geometry, you see the result is actually perfect. Great. Click OK. Good. So why did I do this copy? Well, the thing is, this is all still the T-spline geometry. So when I, let's say, move this one up, and then leave the finish form, it should all snap. And you see, there it did. And the reason why this works is, well, we have our mesh inputs. Then we create the T-spline object, and this one in the timeline I make a copy. So when I make a copy of it in Fusion, and that means it's not really an individual object, because it's based on T-spline, it's actually linked. So when in time I adjust a little bit of geometry here in the T-spline object, the copy and the other object will be updated. So it's a little bit different than in Blender, where we don't necessarily have a timeline. We simply work on all at the same time. And here in Fusion you have like 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, one after the next one in the timeline. But you see, a little bit of a restructured approach, we can get exactly the same result. Okay, so now we have actually this core object cut out. So let's keep it at the moment. So that's good. So now we can go over to, for example, which are those? These are the trimmed ribs. Okay, so let's bring those over. So array main body, array slices. And then we can, again, I put everything from the beginning in here. Let's insert the mesh. Where's the other one? There. Meter. Okay. And now I have to create another base feature, because I will convert actually those points into geometry again. Fusion can work with. Okay, so good. Now I actually need another main body. I could actually then cut those out, or actually not cut, I will keep the intersecting area. So I have to go to the timeline here, and then copy and paste. copy and paste there. Okay, perfect. So, and let's say this is actually now smaller ribs. And then I can go back to the end. That's fine. Now we have to be a little bit careful which one we select. So smaller ribs, combine, intersect with this one, and also keep tools. We keep deactivated. Whoa, whoops, hey, what did you do? No. Let's do this again this way. There. Oh, I didn't click the tools. Cut and intersect. And there you see, we maintain just the stuff inside. Keep tools off, so our tools are gone. Perfect. See, now we have all this stuff. However, my design here gets flooded a little bit, so I will do a little bit of a variation or step to this part. I will actually now maybe bring over, or I could create a sketch, but since we have this, I will bring this over. Nope, this was not good. Let's say box trim. Okay, and let's bring the next over. Where is it? The box trim there. I could have created also a sketch, etc. But because I have all the stuff done, I just want to keep it this way. Perfect. So another base feature. I would like to convert. Okay. And now I will select the modify command, select my body 4, that's actually, yeah, these other ribs, and then cut, and this one, okay. So you see this is now shorter. Perfect. And now I can select my smaller ribs and say combine, and then I have to select all those. And say intersect. Great. So now I have all the stuff left. However, if maybe at one point I would like to create a nice arc or flute, now then the question is, instead of bringing this box over, then I might have to create a sketch, extrude an object so I can cut it. Or I can model something here and bring it over. So it doesn't really matter. It's up to you how you want to use these two environments. That's the reason why I didn't say programs. Do we use in this case Fusion as the converter that creates the final CAD design, which is precise, or do we start with Blender to explore ideas, bring the stuff over, and then in Fusion we can still maybe manipulate ideas? And currently I simply use it as a brute, bring the stuff over and convert it. Okay, good. So we're pretty far. So the next thing, the pipes. Where are the pipes? There. So here I turn the sub D off, because those I want to bring over just as a placeholder. And then there actually I will recreate proper geometry via a sketch. Let's say pipes. Okay. At this point, maybe I will now create another insert mesh, because all this is basically for the main parts, and this is now another element, so I split this up. Okay. Goody. So you till from you till you, V and height. So it's gone. Perfect. So now I have those as a nice reference. I can create a new sketch right at the from this view, and now I can use the circle tool there and make another one from there. So we set, what was the dimension for this one? This should have been maybe I think it was 12, and this maybe was 7. Okay, so dimension 120 millimeters, and this should be 70 millimeters. But now how do we bring it up to there, to the correct position? So we can just drag it to there and then use these points as a reference to line the stuff up. And it looks close, maybe a little bit up. Little tick to the right. Okay. Perfect. Good. If we want to be even more accurate so things don't change, we can now add, for example, the dimensions for the height and how far it's out to the left and the right. Perfect. Goody. So this here right now, I can I delete it? Oh, interesting. I cannot delete it, so I will hide it. Good. And all those show. No, wait. No. And also here, hide, because I want to work on my core object now. I want to, kind of like in a similar way, work in Blender. I don't want to mirror this one over in the sketch. So I will first go ahead and extrude the inside and the outside out. Okay, but hey, you know what? Do this symmetrically. Okay. And cut, that's fine. Then we can add the mirror command feature is actually this extrusion in the timeline along this plane. That should work. Yes, it did. Perfect. Goody. So you see, same steps. Main body, and I can actually show now all these other objects because we're ready to cut this stuff out. And to do this, we can use the combine, and then, for example, say you and you. Ouch, what's going on? See? The combine command also only prefers really that you work one object onto the next object, so I can't really cut one tool out of multiple targets. Bummer. So what can I do otherwise? Well, we actually started at the beginning with this bigger object, and we cut the slices out. Okay, so that's basically the answer. We cut the core out first, and then later we cut the slices out. So where are our cuts? So cut number 1 and cut number 2. So you see this one we can probably move to the end, and if not, we should be able, maybe these two, move them over, yep, because they're linked, and this one I move over. Okay. This might take a second to recalculate. Good. So why could I not move one and the other one? Well, the thing is, this one cuts the bottom and then this cuts other stuff, so I needed to move both at the same time. And then time-wise, I can maybe move to there. Now, let's say this is trim bottom. I don't want to see you. This is the array. This is also array 2. Go away. Goody. This is the core. Smaller ribs, bigger ribs. Perfect. Good. So cut bigger body minus the core. Cut, but please keep the tool. Okay. Now we go with the smaller ribs. Modify, smaller ribs, cut, and then here forget the keep tools. There. And I see now we have these shapes. Perfect. Good. So let's see if the rest works. It should, technically speaking, just update. There. And this is good. Not really. So let's go to there. There. Now this works better. Yeah. Okay. Everything updated. And let's say in case they do not update, well, and again, we just only have to basically figure out which is the correct array, and then we just redo the combines. So nice thing about the timeline is you can see we can delete features, and again, it's pretty much very similar to the approach in Blender with the modifiers. It's kind of like a timeline, top to bottom. So here it is exactly the same. So let's name the arrays a tick better. So this is actually array main body, and this is array ribs. So in this way I know really which one is which one. So main body, combine array main body, and cut. So I should trim all the pieces in between, and the caps I cut. And then I have my array ribs. So combine. You know what? I will do a small variation. Hold on 1 second. So which one is this one? This one. I will go to there and there. Okay, perfect. Good. So where is the bigger block? Trim bottom there. I will just create maybe a sketch, so I can show you what's now the advantage of maybe in this case here to make a basic sketch instead of, for example, bringing over that box geometry we created in Blender before. There, let's make sure this is all horizontal. This is all 90 degree here. Okay, perfect. So this sketch, this is, for example, we use trim ribs bottom. This is actually our pipe. Okay, good. And this trim bottom part there we can remove. Smaller ribs. Okay, perfect. So to slice this area off, you see I need to do a sketch, and then I can extrude it out. But when it intersects, then the extrusion geometry turns into a cutting geometry. Perfect. Good. And now if I later, let's say, want to adjust parts, you see I can play with this. So that's pretty nice. Goody. So this is cut. Now I would like to remove all the ribs from it. So modify U, intersect with these array ribs. Okay. And there we are. and one step forward so I see the other stuff. Perfect. Okay, nice. Can hide this. Can show now actually this sketch, because what's left is actually go and select cancel, hold on, extrude this profile to a certain degree, symmetry, okay, show me the sketch now. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Get out. This is really annoying. You see, Fusion wants me to select something different. That's not what I want. So let's see. Left mouse button, click and hold. Face, 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 face. Profile. So when you hold the left mouse button, so let's see here, delete this again, and you have so much stuff. Left mouse button, hold, and you get kind of like this menu, what's all below, and then there we can scroll down and there's the profile. So you can select objects when they're overlapping each other. And we can do a cut. And there already you can see that Fusion starts to get a little bit choppy, because this is all now very precise. So the more we do, the slower it will get, which is sometimes why for quick explorations the Blender approach is really ideal when we deal with something so organic like here, and then Fusion, we then bring the stuff over and finish it to perfection. Okay, good. Let's cut this. Everything are cut. I would like to mirror this feature over along this axis plane, and that should work as well. It did. Nice. Okay, pretty good. Last thing to do, fillets. So no, before we do fillets, there's something else I would like to do. So this trim bottom here, remove. So these are the individual objects, and there I'm actually curious if we could not at this point delete those. I don't think we need them anymore. These are for reference anyway. So delete. It should not break the design. Did not. And here I think that's the same, because this is raw polygon geometry, and then when we bring it into T-splines or base feature, we convert it, so we make actually a copy of it. Good. So I cleaned everything up, and now when we do a fillet, you see they're not interfering with the commands. Left mouse button click, right to the left. We'll select all edges which are below there. Let's say 1.5 millimeters. And this will take a moment, because this is really a lot to do. Might have to pause the video. And it's actually good that this happened. Not to discredit Fusion here, that it takes so long, while Blender was actually very fast with the bevel command. Advantage of Blender there was very basic polygon geometry, so easy task. Here, however, because we work with a mathematically more precise data set, we get also a more precise result. Unfortunately, because our design is so organic and so detailed. It just simply takes longer. So it's not Fusion's fault. It's simply there's a lot of mathematical calculations to do right now. So you see what I'm talking is still spinning, so I will stop the video here because basically this was the end. I don't know how long this will take. You can try this out as well. If, however, you will not do the fillet rounding for this video, I will be okay with it because you can see this can actually slow things down significantly, which is actually also good. This happened because this is a perfect example to, while I said and will say very often, structure your design appropriately. Basic ideation first, block out geometry, create additional details, and then edge roundings and fillets. This is all stuff you do at the end. And the main reason is not only because it's an unnecessary detail to focus on at the beginning, but when this calculation is done, whoa, it is done. Okay, so you can do the fillet. If I now change something later here, Fusion will update everything till the end. So you will always end up with the spinning wheel like crazy when we modify the design. Which is, you only want to do this fillet stuff really when your work is done. And that's it.